It's quieter this time around as we head out onto the deserted night street.
Seems things have settled down, at least.
Kudzu's fur is still bristled out on the back of his neck. I'm starting to worry about him. He's been tense, even considering the situation we're in.
Keep your eyes peeled anyway. Of course.
I've also been sensing a strange bit of tension between the two of them. It can probably be put up to the situation currently at hand, though. We're all on edge. I can see the motel a ways down the road, but, ominously, the lights are all out. Duke has gone quiet for the most part. I wonder if he's just given up, or if he's planning something. Hopefully it's the former.
I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary here. Trust me, things are fucked up.
We passed a diner, the moonlight glinting softly off its metal edges. A dark, sick feeling sets in as I stare at the black windows. That's where it all started. Should we check to see if she's still there? Leo's quiet behind me for a moment, then clears his throat.
Don't see why we'd need to do that.
I don't know. To tell the cops about it or something?
If the cops haven't been there, then I'm sure she's still in there. No use looking inside.
All right.
Hey, it's gonna be okay, alright?
Not for Janice. Leo doesn't say anything to that as we continue down the road, finally reaching the motel parking lot.
Keep moving.
I look behind me and see that Duke's stopped, still looking back at the diner. I see something.
What?
Kudzu stops too and looks back at us. Something. I look at the diner, but I see nothing moving in the windows or in front of it. It's way too dark to see anything in there anyway. Leo prods at Duke's back, but the weasel refuses to move, rooted to the spot.
Am I going to have to carry you?
Leo lets go of Duke for just a moment, reaching up to turn him around, probably to throw the weasel over his shoulder. But before he can do that, Duke screams, long and loud, and it raises all the hairs on the back of my neck. Before Leo can stop him, the weasel takes off into the night, away from the diner, toward a grouping of trees and bushes on the side of the road. Leo curses and immediately goes after him. Kudzu starts to follow.
Don't follow me! Wait for the car!
Leo shouts over his shoulder before disappearing into the brush. Then, more faintly,
And watch us!
Kudzu and I stare into the darkness, listening to the two of them crash through the brush before fading out into silence. After a few moments, Kudzu rubs his head and turns to me.
Well, guess we should get to the car then.
I frown, not really worried that Duke can do much to Leo, but rather that they'll run into someone that could. Shouldn't be that hard to catch him. He's in handcuffs.
Duke can be fast when he wants to be.
Fuck. He's probably recalling when Jenna outran him. Leo, so. I feel like we should have gone with him. I keep staring into the darkness of the brush, and Kudzu puts a hand on my shoulder as he passes.
Don't worry. Leo can take care of himself, especially when he's up against someone like Duke. A handcuffed Duke.
Yeah. Reluctantly, I follow the raccoon. Leo's brief presence had been so strong and reassuring, it's kind of jarring to be without it again. At the same time, though, it's not all that different with Kudzu. Leo's just more overpowering with it, I guess. I fished my keys out of my pocket, then suddenly realized where they're at. Hey, we should check our room. Jen or TJ might be in there, maybe even with some of the others. Kudzu looks at the dark motel, scanning the rows of doors.
Yeah, we should. But I think we should wait for Leo. I don't really trust anyone right now.
I realize he's implying that one of my friends could have gone insane, too, and I also realize I can't blame him. From what I saw, and what I've heard, TJ might be acting the same way as Duke. That thought causes my stomach to churn sickly.
Listen, I gotta, pee real quick, okay?
Okay.
I'm just gonna go behind that corner.
He points over to the side of the motel. No problem. I'm getting just a little annoyed that everyone is acting like I'm a little kid that needs to be watched.
Cool. Be right back.
Kudzu does a little jog away before disappearing around the corner. I lean back against the door of the car, swinging the keys around a finger. Don't lose him, Chase. It's completely quiet now, and I haven't heard a single gunshot since we got outside. I wonder if everyone that's been fighting is dead now. Or maybe they just realized how ridiculous Demir's story was and left. Thinking about the supposed monster that I definitely don't believe in, though, has me looking over my shoulder into the darkness. Images of a hanging body crosses my mind. Shit. I look over to where Kudzu went. It's been a little while. Shouldn't he be done now? A pop from the brush across the street makes me jump. Leo? My voice comes out in a whisper. There's definitely something there. Its form stands out just a shade darker than the trees behind it. It must be a bush, but it looks thin, like a person. I squint at it, and that's when I see the glint of two eyes in the darkness. I freeze. Whoever it is, they're not responding to me, and that's definitely not a good sign. I decide that I'm just not going to move until Kudzu gets here. Yeah, and if it does move, I'll just run over to where Kudzu went. I don't think he'll mind me catching him with his pants down if there's a fucking psychopath chasing after us. I see a thick tail swish out to the side of the dark thing. Slowly I feel behind myself for the keyhole to the car door, sliding the key in and unlocking it. Actually, I'll just get in the car and... Footsteps to my right. Duke, his eyes wild, is on me in an instant. He slams into me so hard I'm sent to the asphalt with an impact that rattles my brain. I roll over groggily and see Duke bent over, his hands fumbling at the ground. Somehow he's moved his handcuffs from himself to the front. I realize that I don't have my keys anymore at the same time that Duke stands up, keys in hand. Kudzu! I yell and reach for Duke, who dodges away, throwing some kicks at me before yanking open my car door. Fuck! I lunge for the handle, but I see the weasel slam down the lock just as I reach it. Kudzu comes running around the corner just as Duke starts up the car. Duke! I shout uselessly at Kudzu as Duke peels out, yanking the handle from my grasp and forcing me to hop back a step to stop from being run over. Of course, I think that Duke's just going to take off down the road and get the hell out of Echo. I have no idea that he's going to turn sharply in the parking lot and come straight for me.
Chase!
Kudzu screams at me, just 20 feet away now. But there's no time. The car is coming at me. I jump to the left, but Duke easily follows my movement. I see the license plate in the headlights, which Duke hasn't turned on. I jump and land on the hood of the car as it hits me. I feel like my body is falling through air. I see the stars and the moon, and then I land. The desert stretches and winds into the distance, rising and falling with the mountains, hills, and valleys. It's endless, monolithic, passionless. Except here. Its mark is clear on the land, like a stain, a blemish in the beige patchwork of the wilderness. The earth's bad. The air is bad. Everything's tainted. Tainted. The mark is old. It's ancient. Been here longer than people. All people. And they knew it too. Everyone who's been here knows it. So do you, even though you're not from here. You were drawn to the stain like all the other evil that's planted itself here. You can see it through the otter's eyes. You can see its influence stretch above you like black tendrils into a dark red sky. They stretch, search, reach for anything alive to stain anything they touch. So it is. So it will always be.
Chase!
I stare groggily up at the face above me. A swirly mess of gray and black before I'm able to focus on the nose just inches away from my own. That crosses my eyes, which hurts, so I close them again.
Chase.
The voice is gentler this time, though no less concerned. I try to reach my hand up to assure whoever it is that I'm fine. I feel the soft, velvety sensation of an ear catch between my fingers, and the person above me stills. What happened? Are you guys okay? I mumble thickly past lips that don't seem to cooperate with words that don't seem to make sense.
Are you okay? He hit you really hard.
I feel a hand run over the top of my head, like it's looking for something.
Did you hit your head?
I feel my own head, keeping my other hand resting on Kudzu's head? That's right. Kudzu. I push myself up suddenly, realizing where I am and what just happened. I look around into the night, the surreal feeling of regaining consciousness in this nightmare making it all the more horrific. Shit. Where is he? I try to push myself up, but Kudzu holds me down firmly.
Duke? He took off. Somewhere.
Kudzu looks around, his ears pointed up as if listening before looking back down at me as I try to sit up again.
You need to stay down for now. Something might be injured.
I think I'm okay. Just a little bit out of it. Kudzu gazes down at me, and for a moment I'm left staring into his deep, dark eyes. That's when the sound of feet slapping against asphalt breaks the spell and Kudzu looks behind himself.
What the hell? Duke, just...
Kudzu is suddenly shoved roughly away and I find myself held up in Leo's arms.
What the fuck happened?
Leo desperately looks me up and down as he holds me in his arms.
Did he shoot you?
What? No, he just hit me with a car. I see Leo's eyes widen and his ears shoot up. He suddenly turns his attention to Kudzu, hackles raised.
What the fuck were you doing, Kud? Why weren't you watching him?
Kudzu flinches back, then glares.
He came out of nowhere, Leo. We were both trying to stop him.
I can see Leo working himself up to shout something else, but that's when I push myself out of his strong grip. Despite the circumstance, I'm bristling at the way I'm being coddled. Leo! He was driving a fucking car! There wasn't anything he could do! Now, standing, I'm feeling an achy sensation in my back and my head spins a little bit. I brace my hands on my knees and wait for it to subside.
I don't think you should be standing up so soon.
I'm fine. Though, now that I'm standing, I'm not completely sure of that. Worrying twinges and creaks pang throughout my body, but I force myself to straighten up, facing the other two. We need to keep moving. Find the others and get out of here. Leo moves up next to me, a big paw reaching out to wrap around my shoulder. I cringe, though, and Leo takes his hand back.
You need me to carry you, honey?
I grimace and shake my head, mostly because I feel like being slung over his back would be even worse. He settles on rubbing my back gently, eyes still looking me over, as if trying to spot some uneven injury.
Let's get the hell to Patton.
Kudzu coughs awkwardly.
We've lost the car, though.
Oh, yeah. My heart sinks. Even now, in the situation we're in, I'm a little angry that it was my car that was stolen. I worked hard to buy that thing, even if it was a junker. Leo shakes his head like it's a mild annoyance.
Then we'll just have to use my van instead.
Leo looks up the road in the direction of the diner where he left it 2 days ago. Wait, let's at least check the motel, see if any of the others are in our room.
Walter, I'm sure the others have already gotten out by now.
I mean, we haven't heard anything from any of them, though. And wouldn't they have brought the police or something? Leo looks back at the motel, chewing his lip.
All right, but let's be fucking quick about it. We need to get the hell out of here so we can get everyone help.
Yeah, real quick. I reach into my back pocket, pulling out the key card as I hobble in the direction of our room on the other side of the building. Kudzu reaches out to me.
You need help?
Leo shoulders the raccoon aside as he practically jumps to my side, gently pressing a hand into my back again.
Stay close, Alta. Not gonna let something like that happen to you again.
I tried to ignore the tension I feel building between the other two. More than anything, I'm annoyed at Leo. Why is he acting like this? Sure, he was always a little jealous, but right now, in the middle of this hellscape of chaos? I shake my head, allowing the wolf to guide me with his hand as we turn the corner to the motel. Kudzu stays close behind us, and I look back at him and give him a small smile to show that I at least appreciated his concern for me. He gives me a short nod back, but otherwise doesn't say anything. Like most of the town, the back of the motel is completely deserted as far as I can see. Another pop that's probably a gunshot echoes in the distance, but I'm just thankful they aren't happening every minute like earlier. Again, I wonder if it's because everyone's dead. As fucked up as it is, I think that might be a good thing for us. As long as it doesn't involve any of my friends. We reach the door of the motel, and my heart sinks again as I see there's no light coming from the window. Shakily, I raise the key guard to press it against the lock, only to accidentally drop it. I start to bend over to pick it up, but Leo puts a hand on my shoulder, speaking gently into my ear. Don't move, Walter. He sweeps up the card and presses it to the lock. It flashes green, and I hear the electric buzz of the lock coming unlatched before Leo presses down on the door handle, then pauses. His other hand suddenly reaches out behind me towards Kudzu.
Kudzu, hand me my gun. I'll give you Duke's.
Kudzu stares at the hand for a moment, then jumps, as if suddenly realizing what the wolf is talking about.
Oh, right.
Kudzu lifts his shirt, fumbling with the waistband before pulling out the gun. He hands it to Leo, who in turn hands him Duke's gun. He checks the safety on his own before pointing it towards the door. Leo pauses again, then glances at me.
Walter, behind me.
Leo nods back to the wall next to the door. I only feel a little twinge of resentment at being treated like a child again, but I'm too eager to check the room to say anything. Finally, Leo gives the door a gentle shove, allowing it to swing open on its own. I can't see anything from behind Leo, but judging by the look on Kudzu's face next to me, they don't see anything. I realize why as Leo slowly reaches inside and flips the light switch. I can't resist and peek around Leo's bulk into the motel room. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe a blood-splattered room with all of our friends' bodies piled in the middle or something. Instead, though, it's basically just how I remember it. I even see my pajamas crumpled up on the side of the bed where I left them. Leo holds steady for a moment, keeping the gun pointed at the ceiling of the room. Finally, he leans in, whispering loudly.
Hello? Hello?
There's no response. Leo waits for just a while longer before finally moving forward slowly. I don't wait for Leo's approval to follow and move close behind him. Kudzu just behind me. There isn't much to search in the motel room, having just the room and the bathroom to check. Once Leo's sure it's clear, I shut the door and lock it before turning to the other two. Just so we know that we're safe. For now, at least. Leo shakes his head.
We gotta keep moving, Chus. We should head to my place now.
I open Jenna's laptop on the table, pushing the power button.
Come on, what are you doing?
Leo shifts his weight from one foot to the other. Kudzu moves to stand next to me.
Checking the internet?
I was hoping to. I sigh as I stare at the password screen.
Well, let me check with my phone.
Leo sighs again.
That's not gonna help us. I have Wi-Fi calling.
Leo sighs again and sits heavily on the bed, bending it like a bow. He sets his gun on the bedside table before rubbing his face vigorously with both hands. You okay? Saying that Leo's been on edge is an understatement. And sure, we're all fucked up right now, but the way the wolf's been acting, it's like he's a different person. Leo lets his hand slide down his face so he can peer at me over his fingertips. He examines me for a while, then finally reaches out with both hands.
Come here, Chula.
I almost hesitate, and I'm not sure why. I walk over to him and stand in front of the wolf before he reaches out and pulls me down into his lap. Then he presses my head against his chest before wrapping his arms around me. He starts stroking the back of my neck gently, and it makes me shiver. It all feels a little forced, and we don't meld together naturally like we always used to.
I'm sorry about letting all of this happen. I should have told the police when Duke started threatening earlier.
Do you know what's happening? Leo takes in another breath, and his broad chest swells against my cheek before he blows it out, ruffling the fur on my head.
I don't know. I really don't.
I notice Kudzu standing to the side, clearly trying not to look at us. Any internet? Kudzu looks up and shakes his head.
No, I can't find a network.
Damn it.
Did that bear do anything to you?
The hesitation in Leo's voice makes it clear what he's really asking, and it sounds like he's been wanting to ask it for a while. No, he, just tied me up for a while. I guess technically he did do more, in a way, but I don't want to go into that right now. That whole incident actually seems like a long time ago already. Janice's murder, getting near R-worded, I want to say it, by Brian, trying to kill Brian. I feel like there's a numbness in my chest that's dampening my emotions right now, and everything feels like it's far away from me. I wonder if that's some kind of psychological response to what's happening, and if I'll be all fucked up after this is over. Probably. I kind of welcome the numbness right now. It at least helps me deal with what's happening a little easier. Jenna would probably be able to tell me what's happening right now, if she was here. Of course, that makes me wonder where she and the others are. It makes me want to get out of here and find them. Because as much as I want to get the hell out of this place, I kind of feel responsible for them. I did drag all of them here, after all.
I'm gonna get you out of here, I promise.
Leo breathes into my ear and squeezes me a little tighter. I have to hold back a wince as a twinge goes through my neck. I have a feeling that I'm going to be very sore tomorrow. I suddenly lift my head to look back at Kudzu. What time is it? Kudzu takes his phone back out of his pocket to check.
3:45.
I stare at him. Are you serious? That means it's only been a little more than an hour since we left Kudzu's place. I was really hoping that daylight would be a bit closer than that. Kudzu slumps down in the chair at the table.
It's what my phone says.
I continue to rest my head against Leo's chest, listening to him breathe. I glance up at him and see that his eyes are closed as he continues to stroke the back of my head. I'm about to tell him that we should get moving again when I think I hear something. It's a soft, sniffling sound, like someone's covering up their sniffing. I lay there against Leo, not moving as I continue to listen. A full 10 seconds go by before it happens again, and this time I think it's coming from below us. Under the bed. I look up at Leo again, wondering how to tell him I heard something without saying it out loud. Honestly, with his massive wolf ears, he should have heard it before I did. I reach up and poke at his chin. Leo shakes his head a bit, around the poking, but otherwise doesn't open his eyes. I frown and reach up further, touching his cheek. He leans into it. Leo. I barely whisper at him. Finally, he does open his eyes. I point at my own ears, mouthing, "Listen." I see his ears comically perk up, his eyes looking at the ceiling. I motion down at the bed. I can see Kudzu to the side from his chair, eyeing us curiously, but not saying anything otherwise, thankfully. This time the snuffling sound is quite a bit louder, and I feel Leo's fur rise up on his arms. That was definitely a person, or something living and breathing, at least, and it definitely came from under the bed. Leo slowly and gently pushes me off his lap, motioning me away. Slowly, he leans over and grabs up the gun. Then he stands, backing up away from the bed, then crouching slowly with the gun pointed as he looks under the bed. I see Leo pause, staring, then he reaches out and grabs whatever it is and yanks hard. Ah! The scream is loud and piercing. Whatever it was sounded like a terrified child. It thrashes and kicks at Leo, and it's when it's clawing frantically at the carpet to get back under the bed that I realize who it is. TJ? I shout his name, confused and terrified myself.
What the hell? Calm down.
Leo's got both his hands on TJ's ankles, trying to keep him still while at the same time not getting gouged by toe claws. I move closer, though, not close enough to get clawed by the lynx, but trying to crouch in his line of sight. TJ! TJ! It's us! You're okay! The look in his eyes is wild and desperate and feral. I reach out for his wrist and he immediately slashes at me with his other hand.
Just stay back.
I fall back on my butt and scoot away a little, wide-eyed. I've never seen TJ like this. Of course I haven't. I can't imagine what would have made him like this. I scramble up and stand next to Kudzu, who's just as wide-eyed as me. Despite that, he sidesteps a little in front of me, as if to shield me from the insane TJ. Leo finally drops the cat's legs, and before TJ can scramble back under the bed, Leo jumps on his back. I wince as I'm sure I can hear TJ deflate like a tower from Leo's weight. The wolf snatches up TJ's arms, pinning them against his back as he leans over to lengths, shouting into his ear.
TJ, stop! Stop fighting! It's me, Leo! Leo!
TJ continues to writhe, making weird yowling noises that I've never heard him make before.
TJ, it's me. It's your friends. We're here to help you, man.
Leo's voice is quieter now, more soothing as he tries to calm the crazed lengths. It seems to be working so far as TJ's violent thrashing lessens, his yowling fading out to more feeble whining sounds.
See? I'm here now. You're gonna be fine.
Finally, TJ's head falls to the carpet, everything going limp. TJ sits on the bed, cross-legged as he rests his back against the headboard. I gave him a blanket when I saw him shivering, and he's got that draped over his shoulders, holding it tightly against himself. It hasn't stopped the shivering, though. I seem to be the only one he doesn't flinch at when we get close, so I sit next to him on the bed. Awkwardly put my arm around him, and he seems to take comfort in that and leans against me. The sweat of smell and piss is strong, but I don't say anything. Leo, meanwhile, sits at the end of the other bed, gently trying to get TJ to tell us what the hell happened.
Was someone chasing you? Is someone here?
TJ shivers against me, and I pat his shoulder. He looks at me then. I see his fur is completely matted to his face, like he's been crying non-stop. I notice bits of dead leaves on his head, too, along with some dirt. What the hell had he been doing? Leo continues to prod gently at the lynx with his questions.
If you can tell us, then we might be able to stop it, or at least watch out for it before we leave.
TJ looks at Leo, then opens his mouth, making a squeaking noise. He swallows loudly, then tries again. Do we have any water? It sounds like he has an extremely sore throat. I look over to the sink, but Kudzu jumps off the chair he's sitting on and makes his way to it. He grabs up one of the small plastic cups before running the faucet. TJ watches him until the raccoon brings the cup back over. TJ drops the blanket around his shoulders and reaches out eagerly for the cup. We all watch intently as he loudly swallows giant gulps of water before lowering it from his lips and gasping for air. Leo smiles encouragingly.
Careful, don't drown yourself.
TJ stares, then shivers again, much more violently. I grip him more tightly. Are you cold? I grab up the blanket and try to tuck it around his shoulders better. Kinda. Not really. I feel cold, but... TJ rubs at his chest. He's still trembling, and I realize he might be in shock. I don't know what to do for that. In every TV show I've seen, the person is just given a shiny blanket while they sit on the side of the road. So I just continue to rub his shoulders in circular motions, trying to be soothing. I wish Jenna were here. She'd know what to do. He leans against me again, though, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing. He holds out the cup to Kudzu again. Could I get some more, please?
Sure.
Kudzu takes the cup delicately from TJ, like the length might break. When Kudzu moves off to the sink again, TJ leans in towards me, whispering, That guy played soccer with us, right? Yeah, he did. Right. TJ goes back to leaning against me, staring at the wall. While this isn't good, he does seem to be getting better. He can recognize us again, and remember stuff at least. Leo adjusts himself on the bed, clearing his throat again.
Tish, if you can't remember, that's okay. But I just wanna make sure no one's coming after you.
TJ blinks, then shakes his head. No, I don't think so. Leo waits, but TJ doesn't say anything more.
No one? You are hiding, so...
Leo clearly doesn't want to upset the lynx, but it makes sense why he wants to know. If there's someone lurking out there, hunting TJ down, we could be in a lot of danger right now. We have to wait, though, as Kudzu comes back with a cup. TJ takes a few more big gulps before looking back up at Leo. I thought I saw something. I keep seeing things. I think I need to go home. I stare at the lynx. I stare hard at TJ, studying him. I don't know why. But I guess I thought we'd all be exempt from this hysteria. I knew we were all normal, at least to an extent. This whole crazy chaos seems too foreign, too different for it to affect my friends, people I know that are grounded, normal people. That's exactly what TJ was. And now... Leo stands up and steps closer, sitting down slowly next to TJ on the opposite side of the bed.
We are gonna go home, Tish. We just have to go on a walk to my car first.
Leo reaches out and sets a hand on TJ's leg, I'm glad to see that he doesn't flinch at all. He's really calming down. Okay. TJ suddenly opens up the blanket around himself, staring down at his clothes. I see his nose twitching, then the skin on the inside of his ears flushes. Can I take a shower? Leo pauses, clearly not having expected that.
Well, we really need to keep going. Don't you want to get home and take a shower there?
TJ has put the blanket back over himself, trying to hide his pants. I'd just like to feel clean again. I feel like it might be a good thing for him to clean off, maybe have some alone time. I give Leo a meaningful look as I lower my voice gently for TJ. Sure, man. We'll wait. TJ pushes himself off the bed to stand on unsteady legs. Both of his hands, not so subtly, shield his crotch as he walks to the dresser. Poor cat. Okay, just don't leave, okay?
We won't.
Leo's still using his talking to a toddler voice. The wolf gives me a frustrated look, but I ignore it. And I'm gonna leave the door open, so if something happens, just yell. It's fine, and nothing's gonna happen, okay? Yeah, okay. JJ pulls out some pants from the dresser before making his way to the bathroom. He keeps glancing back at us, like we're going to disappear if he looks away too long. I try to give him a cheerful smile until he finally disappears into the bathroom. We sit around in a sort of circle in the motel room, Leo and I on the beds, Kudzu in the chair. We keep our voices low as we discuss what's going on, not wanting TJ to hear. This doesn't make sense. TJ's one of the most rational people I know. How is this affecting him?
We don't know what's causing it, though.
I don't know. I thought it was drugs or something.
They all just took the same drug?
I don't know. Or maybe they're all crazy because of drugs and something set it off?
Well, TJ is religious.
So?
So, if he believes in that, then maybe it could go further than that?
I shake my head. No, that doesn't make sense.
People in cults do it all the time.
But he's not in a cult.
It's kind of the same thing if you think about it.
Your whole family is super religious, Leo.
Yeah. So I have first-hand experience with all of it.
Leo chuckles despite the situation. It makes me wonder if this is something more than what's in everyone's head if TJ's having it happen. Kudzu taps his chin from the chair he's sitting in.
What was it Duke was saying about his grandpa? Something about a curse.
Leo waves his hand like he's swatting away a fly.
Oh, chica, speaking of shit that doesn't make sense.
Kudzu shrugs. I'm starting to wonder. I fold my arms and look toward the bathroom where steam is wafting from TJ's shower.
Well, stop wondering. I don't want you ending up like them.
I frown and glance back at the bathroom before lowering my voice. Like TJ? Leo sighs.
No, one of those folkers probably freaked him out or something. He did say he was seeing things.
Leo suddenly stands up from his sitting position on the bed.
You know what? We should just stop talking about this. We're leaving once he's done anyway.
As if on cue, the water shuts off and the automatic dryer starts up. Right after that, TJ's meek voice pipes up from inside the bathroom.
You guys still there?
I call back gently, cheerfully. We're here, TJ. Leo sighs and moves to the window to look outside, pulling back the curtain just a bit. You think the others are out there right now?
Your friends?
Yeah. Jenna, Carl, Flynn. I don't know why I hesitated with Flynn's name. Leo silently stares out the window a while longer, the yellow light of the street light falling across his face momentarily. He lets it drop back into place.
With any luck, they got the hell out of here when it started.
Like I said, if they did, then they would have brought someone back.
Really, if anyone got out, then they would have.
Leo doesn't say anything, electing to lift the gun that he's had clutched in his hand this entire time to examine it. Does that mean no one's gotten out of here? There's a momentary silence.
Hello?
We're still here, TJ. Kudzu shifts in his chair.
Well, a lot of us here have relations outside the town. Family and work in Peyton. In fact,
Kudzu checks his phone again.
I'm supposed to be in to work in like 5 hours. Someone's going to notice.
Maybe we should wait until morning? Someone has to be looking for someone here by then. Leo thrusts the gun back into his waistband resolutely.
Nope. Relying on other people has gotten us nowhere. We gotta help ourselves. He might have a point, Leo. Your friend looks in pretty bad shape. Like, mentally. Then I'll carry his ass to the van. I'm leaving, and I'm not leaving any of you behind.
Leo stops, and I follow his gaze to the bathroom where TJ is stepping out. His fur a little damp and spiky from his shoulder, and a fresh change of clothes. He stands so awkwardly a moment, rubbing his arm as we all stare at him. Hey, how you feeling?
I'm fine. Things are more clear now.
Leo smiles gently.
Good. So you remember who we all are?
TJ smiles weakly.
Yeah, again. Things are clear. You guys don't have to talk to me like that.
Like
I'm crazy.
Sorry.
I clear my throat and try to assume a less I'm talking to a crazy person tone. Do you think you can make it to Leo's? We can stay here if you want. Wait for someone to find us. I ignore Leo's exasperated sigh from behind me. TJ glances at the bed.
I'd like to just lay down, but...
He looks back up at us, clasping his hands together.
I think something is happening here. Something... doing something to our heads. I don't know.
Leo narrows his eyes.
What do you mean?
TJ looks off to the side.
I just saw things that shouldn't be there. This has never happened to me before, so...
TJ looks down at his hands.
I remember what someone was chasing me, trying to grab me, and I scratched at it.
Was that Jenna? From Carl's route? TJ looks back up at us.
And it was Jenna, but I was too scared. I didn't know if it was really her or not, so I ran. And she didn't follow me. It was Jenna.
TJ's starting to shiver again.
Ah, what did she look like when you didn't know it was her exactly?
TJ frowns, opening his mouth to say something, then closes it again. Finally, he looks at Leo, apparently deciding to ignore the question.
Can we find her? I can't stop thinking about it. I want to make sure she's okay.
His voice gets a little broken, but he manages to control his tears this time. Leo grimaces.
We really need to go, TJ. The faster we can get help, the faster we can help everyone here, including Jaina.
The corners of TJ's mouth tuck down in a frown, but he doesn't say anything.
But if we see her on the way, of course, we'll bring her with us, okay?
TJ's still looking like he's trying not to cry, but nods quickly. Leo rolls his shoulders, keeping the gun pointed at the ground as he moves to the door.
Now, everyone, stay close to me. Just keep with TJ. Kudzu, you bring up the rear, got it? All right. We're just gonna head up the street to the diner. Not far at all.
I look up at TJ, trying to give him a reassuring smile. He's still looking at his hands, though, so I move over to him, putting an arm around his shoulder, gently guiding him to the door.